Hey guys, this here is Getaway Driver 101, and today I'm going to be giving y'all a video about Discord and something y'all should be aware of. If you're ever having like an issue with the server, let's say you're talking to some people or some players and you send a message and they report the message, or let's say you didn't know, which I knew but I did it anyways to kind of see how aggressive the security was, and I'm not going to lie and say I did, and I did it to kind of experiment. Now I know. So, anyways, the point I'm getting to is with Discord security has now been updated, and like I said in the past, you can set your own. For some reason, it does get through Discord. Now, me, I just sent a YouTube video, which anybody can go and do. YouTube videos ain't that hard to send. Anybody can send them, and I just wanted to see whether or not if the YouTube video would cause any problems with anything. And sure enough, you can't send YouTube videos through Discord unless it's your own server that you run. If it's a public server, you're not allowed to do that. And like I said, I did this as more of an experiment. But like I was telling the moderators on there, I told them, I was like, look, I was also being a dumbass. I was wanting to see Goofy for doing that. And it's true, why not? But it also shows the security level of Discord. So I'm going to be showing you the protections that you can set on your own computer. So if you go to exploit protection, this is your system settings and you go programs. So this here is Discord. I have my Discord on 5 overrides. Block remote images allowed. Audit only is unchecked. Data execution prevention of DEPs override on, so it prevents prevents code from being ran from the data only in the memory pages. So that means it won't run data only in memory, meaning it will have to go through some kind of execution, which then your security layer would pick it up. If it felt like there was static running through your system, it would detect that there was a security issue. Do not allow child processes override setting on, but it's off. And then API or validate API caller checks, as well as override on validate exception change of SEHOPs, ensure integrity of extension chain during dispatch, override on. So other than that, you set those settings up. Like I said, I did something I shouldn't have done, and it was more of an experiment. But now I know. So the video is gone. So they only allow No Man's Sky content on here. It was just kind of like, I was just trying to send a video to warn people about stuff with Windows and what's going on with like the other electronic field too. Because I try to warn people about technology issues that's going on before it happens and it gets worse. Or if it has already happened, I try to warn people so it doesn't get any worse than it already is. This game here I enjoy quite often. I play this game a lot. No Man's Sky is one of my main played games. Well, I sent. Okay, so this was the video I sent. This is me talking to them, and I was explaining to them everything I've been doing to my PC, what's all been going on, and I was just being bluntly honest. And then I sent them all this stuff here, including my YouTube channel name, and I told them, I was like, look, I'm not a troll. I'm sorry if y'all think I was. I'm not. Here's all my information. If y'all really think I'm a troll, here's what I've been dealing with. Here's my YouTube channel name. Go check it out if you want. You can see the videos on there. And I was explaining to him, and they were kind of honest about it. They're like, okay, so you've had a rough week. They were like, okay, so shit happens. Just don't do it again. Don't be an idiot or dumbass and do it again. And they were, they didn't physically say that, but they were being nice about it as like, hey, if you agree to follow our terms or rules, we won't ban you again. Just make sure you don't do this. And the reason why I'm making this video is for those out there that are curious of how bans work on Discord. You send a video to a platform that does not allow it, you will get banned. Even if the video is not malicious. That is a legitimate video. I can go pull it up on YouTube. It is 100%, there was the video. And the video is a very good video. This guy here is a very good tech guy to go and check out, especially if you're like actually
there's a huge crisis looming, and
security problems. Now, this dude also gives you a lot of information on things that happen before it happens. Now, when I say it happens before it happens, I'm not saying everything he says is 100%, but about 70% of it is. I'm gonna say 70%, not 100%, 70%. You know, and there's other YouTubers out there like Jay's 2 Cents and them like that. You know, I watch them, and I'm pretty sure, you know, there's a lot of them out there that watch, you know, kind of like each other to see what each other are posting, and there's nothing wrong with that. I was just demonstrating to see exactly how aggressive the video field would be for Discord. And so I found out that Discord's video field is only like allowable for certain things. And so if you're in a Discord for like Delta Force, you're only allowed to post Delta Force. If it's Wreckfest, you're only allowed to post Wreckfest. If it's No Man's Sky, you're only allowed to post No Man's Sky. Now, if it's any of your other servers, you ain't got to really worry about it. You can go post whatever you want. You can make jokes, you can crack jokes. On here, you can't really crack aggressive jokes because the bot could pick it up. You could get banned. See right there, that dude just gave a yes or no, and now he just vanished out of the chat. So I don't even know if he did something wrong. Did you mean the flim roll? And then I went to edit. That was weird. I said yes or no. So I mean, you know, things happen, and bots sometimes can be a little aggressive themselves, just as users are, you know, and stupid as they were when they were first built on social media platforms. They were mainly like your bots for games, or your bots as a bot in a game, or a bot for helper, or a bot helper that is like something you ask questions, or you have an AI. And the reason why I'm going from bot to AI is because a bot is pre-programmed with only a set amount of information. It doesn't have a whole lot to grab. It only has a preset page of what it knows. An AI is able to go take the preset page and then duplicate it, rewrite it, make more information, write another page, and then, you know, it's able to basically make more and more pages and understand other information as it's making more pages. So with Discord, this is something to have set up. Now, don't turn on like this. If you turn this on, you can have it on, but leave it unchecked. Because if you turn it on full run, it will make your Discord not function. As well as like some of this stuff here, it helps, like I said, mitigate like people sending you malicious images, because it'll make Microsoft or even Windows security will pick up a malicious structure that it may think is not safe for the operating system. I've only had it happen once on Discord with a website, but it's like where you can go get like the Mario characters where their faces are all like stretched out, or you can go get the helper characters, or you can go get like some really funny looking meme type characters where they're all like deformed looking and stuff. And with those kind of websites where you can download images like that for PC, you have to be very careful, because when you download images, you take a risk at getting a, not just malware or a virus, but you take a risk at having your own IP address spoofed, where your IP address is now leaked and then gets put on the dark web. And the next thing you know, your computer is not just being used by malicious things, it's going under attack or other things. And the next thing you know, your system's basically trashed. And no matter what you do to it, it's just trashed. Now, my computer, on the other hand, it's having some issues because of Microsoft, and it's having issues because of the issues that Microsoft implemented with their stupid updates. It'd be nice if Microsoft could just learn to pre-test updates before they release them, as well as my NVIDIA update that I installed today. I believe I'm gonna have to reinstall it, because as you can see, it's been doing this all day. I installed it, restarted the computer, and it's still doing this. So I'm assuming my NVIDIA driver, but if there is a 0-day lurking on my computer, it's gonna be very hard for it to be discovered. I mean, I could run Hitman Pro and wipe out all my logins and my tokens, which probably would be the best thing to do right now. So yeah, let's just set it to delete. Everything's set to scan, run recommended, default, Scheduled scan. No, let's not do a schedule. Advanced. Direct disk access. Okay, next. Do you want Hitman Pro to regularly scan this computer? Recommended. No, I only want to perform a one-time scan. So Hitman Pro is extremely aggressive, so here in probably like 5 or 10 minutes, I'll probably get signed out of Discord, I'll probably get signed out of every single one of my apps that I have on this computer, and have to relog into all of them. But as you can see, it's pulling up all kinds of junk, as well as credentials that could be leaking, as well as credentials that could be broken, or drivers that were not installed by Microsoft. So I have this on a driver set, so it's not only doing a scan for deep scan, it's doing a scan for driver scan for malicious drivers. So as far as Discord goes though, like, you don't ever really have to worry about anything. If you're playing in these servers and you do something stupid, be honest with the moderators. Be like, look, hey, I did something stupid. I didn't know. Just be honest with them. Be like, look, I've had a bad week. I did something stupid. My bad. You know, if you're bluntly honest, they're more than likely going to be like, okay, well, tell us why you did it, or give us an explanation of what made you think it was an idea to do it. Now, and I flat out told him, I said, look, I try to warn people about things. I said I really wasn't thinking. I just kind of went in and started doing it. I tend to do it to all my other servers. For some reason, I just went in and did it to the other servers without even thinking. Things that you don't want to deal with when it comes to problems. So as you can see, this is everything that's been found. EA Launcher, EXD. So like, you can look at these and you can hit like ignore. So this is like on ignore, quarantine, delete, system. So this file is invisible. Oh yeah, no, it's Steam. Oh yeah, it's Steam. That's fine. Then you got like over, which is this here. So I already know what that is. Update.ext. This file is invisible. Cloaking. Wait, update.ext. Update.ext. Oh, that's for Discord. Okay, that's what I mean. Like, so you can click view and then you can click view file and see if it's something that is worth checking that you feel may or may not be malicious. Security, health, trays. Starts automatically. Has recently appeared on your computer 12.7 days ago and starts automatically. Okay. So if you ever do suspect, let's say you are using Hitman Pro and you have it set up to where it scans a deeper scan than your standard scan, and you feel as if there's something malicious floating on your computer, you can drag and drop a file. Now this here is obviously part of some drivers somewhere on Windows, which is probably part of something important here, as well as this says it's for unknown applicants. It's probably a generic driver that's just disabled, which I'm not going to worry too much about. But it does happen. Like, you can get drivers on your computer that are not drivers. You can get things on your computer that says it's safe and it's not. So it's always recommended to check things if you feel as if there is a issue. File is not signed, so it's probably to a mod or a game. Could be to this here, to WeMod. So if it was from 12 days ago, that probably could be WeMod. So what you do is you hit next. So it says threats detected 52. Out of the 52, when you hit close, they're immediately deleted. And that's because of how Hitman Pro is. Now let's say you're like, okay, well, what if I don't like Hitman Pro? Then you got Norton Power Eraser. And these are 2 free tools you can go and get. You don't have to pay for them. They're 100% free. These are what are known as second opinion scans. These are not your direct scans. These are second opinion scans. These are like for if your drive has been compromised and your security is not picking it up. So it says this here requires a restart. Restart your computer. Do you want to perform a restart now? Cancel. So no, we will not run Norton Power Eraser because it is aggressive to a point where when it restarts your computer, it can actually blue screen. So I've never had it happen on mine, but Like, I've seen it happen on YouTube to other people. So Norton Power Racer, I've only ran it like twice on my computer since I've ever had it on here, and I've had it on here for a good 3 or 4 months now. So it's a good tool to have. And then you have Process Explorer. You know, you can check all your hashes out on here and make sure there's no malicious hashes floating on the computer. And this is why I keep telling everyone, I don't have anything malicious on the computer. Everything is verified, signed, and signaturely signed. But what is irritating me is I get these like weird bugs occasionally when I boot up that are so broken, it is like takes hours to fix. Hours. And those kind of bugs are like beyond irritating. So, yes. Always keep your computer up to date and make sure these storage controllers don't turn into code 28 if you are running the KB5063878. If you get the code 28, do not shut down your computer. If you do, your drive will become either corrupted or unbootable. So if you get code 28 in device drivers, do not shut down your computer. Go in and uninstall it, and then after it is uninstalled, hit update up here. Update all drivers. It says all drivers are successfully installed. Not all drivers were successfully installed. Specific location packages of NFL file. So here's the things that it said that was missing for the so-called driver updates. You just go run a winget upgrade -- all, and this will check your computer's firmware to see if there's anything missing that claims it is updated that is not. Something malfunctioning. But when there is, like when you do click on a display driver or a firmware driver, you can click the update icon here for update, search, and then you can do it for each individual one, but I don't recommend doing that. It just takes too long. But the Storage Express is going to be the most important ones to keep an eye on right now, with Windows being as broken as it is right now. Whatever you do, don't disable any of them, because if you do, your storage drive will become disabled or inactive. And if Windows is installed on that drive and you do that, good luck getting into your Windows, because Windows will permanently disable it, and anytime it has power, it will be considered disabled. So you won't be able to get back into the drive. So there is a theory I have about SSDs. If they use Express controllers and they can get like malfunctioned in a way where it's an Express controller, theoretically, you could lock an SSD out of itself, which is almost what I'm thinking this update is doing for the KB5063878 update. So my recommendation is for anybody out there that is experiencing any issues is to set up an auto SFC scan. How do you set up an auto SFC scan? You're just going to open up Task Scheduler. You open up Task Scheduler. You can go to Create Task. You can name it, put your description. Once you do that, you're going to hit Next. So let's say I just put, let's just do F. And right now, it's wanting to go through each action stage. Right now, you would create new action. Now, this here will sometimes make the computer stutter. And that's because when you're creating a new action, it has to literally filter everything that exists in Task Scheduler and Registry to create a new task. Now, once you hit OK, that registry is created. Right now, it is not created a registry. It's just trying to create a task, which a task is just a task. Until the task is created, then it creates the auto-identify registry for it, so that the targeting point for it. So it automatically starts up when the registry starts up and activates, when Windows activates on the one runs activation. So it would end up activating the one runs key, if that makes sense. I mean, it's probably not 100% accurate because of how often they change some of their stuff, but that's about as close as I can give you to what will be. So you can set it to one time, daily, any user. Then you're going to go over here. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and hit edit. Now that that's set, now you're going to go to actions, which would be your SFC script. So to get your SFC script, you can just type in CMD This is an easy way. Run as administrator. Just put SFC, enter, and then you can highlight, left click, paste, hit OK, and now it is set up. And then from there, you would finish the last 2 setup steps. It may give you a yes or no saying, warning, this is not in the proper program script. Just hit yes, and it will correct it for you, so you don't have to like move it into the argument section or the optional section. It will do it for you. And then from there, you will have an auto SFC scan set up. Now, once it is set up, before you restart your computer, you're gonna go into policies. Once the auto SFC scan now. Once it is set up, you're gonna set up on run only when user is logged in and run with highest privileges. Configure with either Windows 10, if that's the only one that's highest, so make sure it's on the highest Windows configuration model. And from there, your SFC will do as this does. So when it starts up, it will do that. When your computer first boots up, and you'll have a security verification run that verifies the system's integrity before you even start playing your games. If you have an integrity error, it'll come up with like a system has been fixed due to corrupted file and filing system, or system had Windows unidentified error with something like that, or even a C drive or a D drive or an E drive or an F drive or whatever. So that is something to know with SFC. You can set up your auto SFC scan. Now that is still running even though it has been closed, as you can see, still running, and it will continue to run until it hits 100%. Now let's say you're like, okay, well what if my computer, freezes or crashes when it's running this? So you set the conditions to where it stops if the computer switches to battery, stuff like that, or you can set the conditions to only retry every 5 minutes, stop within 1 hour, or you can set that to minutes by manually typing it into minutes, which you'd have to put minutes next to it. I don't really recommend doing it by minutes though. I recommend doing it by the lowest hour type, because once you start trying to implement minutes on something that doesn't have the minutes type, you can sometimes create a bug of your own, which will be irritating to fix. So just don't do that, and you should be fine. So this should be almost done in just a minute, and once it is, it will be almost done. So that's just something to know about Discord and the current Windows build. The current Windows build has some issues. Discord has tried to update their stuff as best as they can for, security and protections for players and chats. Now, the thing is, they don't really need to go any further than that. If they already have all these filters that do this stuff, there's really no need to go any further. I mean, the filters are enough, are they not? Especially when you can just get a hold of the moderator. And if the moderator doesn't let you back in, then you really had to have said something or irritated them. And I was just bluntly honest with them. And it doesn't hurt to be honest when you do something stupid. I'm only making this video as a demonstration because I wanted to see, if Discord even really, cared about their security and spam filters. And they do. So, y'all know now. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like or subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.